Coming up on this edition of MHS Rewind, we'll take a look at the reason behind the later start time on Mondays and take a behind-the-scenes look at the RTV classes at MHS.
And in sports, we'll have highlights from the Mid-State Conference Wrestling Meet and Girls Basketball Senior Night. Good afternoon, MHS. I'm Brianna Waltz.
And I'm Presley Boyd. We'll have all those stories and more coming up on this edition of MHS Rewind. Classes start a little later on Monday this week, all because of a new program brought to Martinsville. Sierra Bauman has an inside look.
PLCs, Professional Learning Communities. This is a time for teachers to get together in their subject and elective groups and go over standards.
To look at data, to look at assessments, to look at what our students are learning, what they're not learning, how fast they're learning, so pacing, standards.
If a teacher teaches more than one subject, they will have to balance their time in each area. Brad Perry is the leader of his English PLC group and has to juggle that and being an elective teacher as well.
We have to have time for the elective classes to do what they need to do. So while I'm out doing the electives, someone else will kind of steer it, but they won't necessarily be the leader. They'll just be in my stead.
Being a leader, also known as a facilitator, comes with more responsibility.
For the days that I'm the leader, I have to come up with an agenda and make sure we adhere to that agenda and make sure everybody's on task during those 40 minutes or so that we're together.
The facilitator was assigned by the administration, and then the rest of us kind of picked our roles to fill in the gaps.
When all of the teachers met on day one, each group was given 3 other roles: recorder, reporter, and timekeeper.
Facilitator is the one who's in charge, kind of keeps the thing going. Recorder, I record, what we do so that we can share with everybody else. Timekeeper makes sure that we're keeping on track, and then reporter reports back to the office.
PLCs are a borrowed idea from other schools.
We visited Brownsburg campus and were able to see it in 2 separate sessions, and our folks were really impressed by the high level of work. Everyone comes to the meeting ready to contribute.
So I was on the part of the PLC team last year at Wooden. We met weekly. I think it benefited us as a team, as a group, and then it benefited the students. I think it showed in our test scores as they went up from the year before.
We're trying to improve student outcomes, so not only graduation rate, but passing grades in every course, improved grades in every course, I-step improvement. So better preparation for you, our students.
The teachers will meet here in the IMC every Monday morning from 7:25 to 8:10, pushing back the first period start time to 8:15. Students will have a supervised study hall at the start of the day.
Other than being marked, absent if they're not here, there's not going to be a penalty. But the parent will be notified if they're absent. If your parent believes you were at school, and that was the arrangement, that you go to school as normal, but you're not here, then that is the true definition of truancy. And then in truancy, there is consequence.
For MHS Rewind, I'm Sierra Bauman.
The PLCs met in the newly renovated IMC. Style Meckling has a closer look at some of the changes.
The IMC is now new and improved with colorful furniture and nice flooring. One of the media specialists, Lois D. Hoff, is impressed with the finished product.
It exceeded my expectations. I'm very happy with all the work that was done.
It's been about 40 years since any major changes were made, and D. Hoff says it was time for a good upgrade.
It was an eyesore, but it's also the heart of a building, so in order to attract kids to media and to literacy and just have a safe, nice place to congregate, it seemed like it was a necessary move.
The students also feel that the changes are a big upgrade.
Makes the space look a lot brighter and a lot more inviting to all the students in the school. I think since it's a lot newer and nicer, more inviting, I think a lot of more students are going to come in here and maybe be able to use the resources.
The new renovations inspire hope for the future of the library. DeHoff says she plans on turning these adjustments into a more safer and inviting place for the students to use the resources in the center. For MHS Rewind, I'm Style Meckling.
Decathlon is ready to earn another trip to nationals. Olivia Osler takes an inside look at how they're preparing to get there.
And then the other person will talk about your speech and impromptu. If you're not in there.
Chris Sturgeon was a member of the academic decathlon team when he was a student at MHS, so he knows what it takes to be successful. Now in his 4th year as a team's coach, he's using that knowledge to get them ready to compete.
I spend lots and lots of hours in the room with me, first reading college level material, and that takes about 3 or 4 months. And then they, after over winter break and in January, they start writing a speech and memorizing it and preparing for it, and then conducting mock interviews to prepare for that portion as well.
The team spends an estimated 300 hours in school studying about this year's topic, the 1960s. They stay after school for 3 hours, practice on Saturdays for 9 hours, and met every day over Christmas break for 9 hours to get ready for the competition's 10 different events.
We are studying like crazy. We're having practice, interview, and speech nights this week on Wednesday and Thursday where we give our speech and do an interview with all of the teachers in each of the rooms. So that's a big part of preparing for district and state.
But that is why the team is so successful. That's what it takes to win a state championship.
And Sturgeon should know, he won 1 state championship as a student and 2 more as the coach. The team has won 19 state championships overall, and again this year, the team's overall goal is to win at district and state and go to nationals this year, which is in Minnesota.
We were 12th or 13th at nationals last year, so doing better than that would be wonderful this year, and we have a good chance to.
District is this week on Saturday, and state is on February 9th and 10th. For MHS Rewind, I'm Olivia Osler.
The Drama Club has been working after school the last few weeks preparing for their new upcoming play. Riley Dalton has the story.
The Drama Club will be spending the next 4 weeks preparing for the play Little Women.
After the show has been cast, the first step is reading and blocking the show. Blocking is essentially done so that the movement on the stage is somewhat controlled.
This version of the play is based on the book by Louisa May Alcott and includes all the famous characters.
Meg's a lot like me, so it's luckily been really easy to kind of put myself into her shoes. Our attitudes are very similar. We're both like motherly and very like protecting of people that we're around.
Taylor Dodge plays John Brooke, who is a tutor for the rich families. Although Dodge's character is similar to him, he still faces a challenge of never being on stage before.
It's definitely fun. It's difficult, really, but being around the cast and trying something new is a lot of fun.
Drama Club is looking to premiere their play, Little Woman, February 8th, and the following shows the 9th and the 10th. They hope to see you there. For MHS Rewind, I'm Riley Dalton.
Show choir has been practicing for their winter competition season. Amy Carroll takes a closer look.
Most students spent the end of their winter break relaxing, but the students in MHS Show Choir, MPULSE, were working. They had a 3-day retreat here at the high school from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., where they learned and polished their choreography.
It's extremely taxing, it's extremely exhausting, but it's a really good bonding experience for all of us to get to know each other better. This year our choreography is definitely more complex. It's a different style. Last year the show was extremely like smiley the whole time, which is typical for show choir. But this year we're playing with a lot more like emotion in our show, which is cool.
Before the retreat, they had a month of vocal rehearsals to test and perfect their songs.
We don't have a specific name for it, but it's kind of like rising up. It's, you know, you start down in the dumps and then you kind of just rise up through it all.
This year, MPULSE is doing several new things, including a partner dance and a percussion section.
It's kids that don't play percussion that aren't in band, just show choir kids in the back playing on buckets and trash cans. So that's a really cool part.
The students hope to make a better show than last year and say the main goal this year is to get to finals.
I think it's something everyone really wants to do is to finally make it to finals because we all work really hard with everything we do.
I think our goal is mainly just to put up performances at competitions that we're really proud of and to get that experience because it's really fun and it's just being able to be like, oh, we worked so hard on that and we nailed it.
MPULSE's first performance will be a free preview show on January 25th here at the high school. Their first contest will follow on February 9th at Plainfield. For MHS Rewind, I'm Emmy Carroll.
As students in the RTV classes here at MHS, we're responsible for producing this newscast.
And we also create the short films Dr. Sears sends out every month.
Here's a behind-the-scenes look at the class and its benefits, straight from current and former MHS students. Short films, newscasts, and even music videos. You see the finished product, but what you don't see is the work that goes into creating it.
Usually the environment in this class is really upbeat and it's just like a go, go, go class. You're always doing something.
There's just a lot of energy and it's teamwork, and it's not your traditional sit in a classroom all day. It's like go out and do something, work on things, work together, be productive kind of stuff.
The RTV class, or Rewind, like most students call it, is structured a little different than most classes offered at MHS and is really project-based.
My favorite part is definitely the short films. Knowing how much hard work and dedication goes into those films.
My favorite part of Rewind is probably editing, because I'm very picky about what I do and I keep going till it's perfect.
My favorite part of Rewind was the newscast. I know that's not a lot of people's favorite part, but that's how I realized what I wanted to do in college.
Annie Keister took Rewind as a sophomore and junior at MHS. Now she's a freshman at Ball State preparing for her career in broadcasting. Nevin Marketan took Rewind as a junior and senior at MHS, and now he's a senior at Ball State studying telecommunications and doing freelance work as an editor.
My favorite part of Rewind was probably just the creativity we got to put into making the short films, and the entire process of pre-production, planning, writing the script, to going to production and shooting it and filming it, and overcoming all the challenges that come with production. And then my favorite part of all that was sitting down and watching it all come together and editing.
And remembering all the fun they had while taping their productions.
There are always those times where you have people laughing about things that this person's doing or that person did. And I think just to be able to see the enjoyment that they're having sometimes with some of the things that happen during the class, that's what kind of makes your day and makes you smile a little bit.
And the students will go to great lengths for their productions. Whether it's driving far distances or doing jazz hands as Maximus Smalls, they all have their stories.
I did a lot of things for Rewinds, especially my junior year. I jumped in a pond. I also got hit in the head with a hammer once, thanks Drew Walker.
In our Rewind Turf Wars parkour, we had to do parkour over and over and over and over, and I got so many bruises on my knees from it.
Those memories and the relationships made in the class are something students cherish.
I'm gonna miss everybody. I love making the videos, but the people are truly the golden eye behind this class. Everybody in here, from Mr. Meyer to just the classmates in general, it's definitely like a family environment.
The relationships and the memories you have in here are, something to hold sacred.
I found something that I really wanted to do through Rewind. Even if that's not the case for you, you will still learn so many great skills in Rewind. You will learn, people skills in general, and everyone needs that. And you will just learn so much about working hard and working together.
We've had kids that have worked in Hollywood, we've had kids that have worked at TV stations, and even ESPN. And then we've had students that are nurses and are studying to be doctors and dentists. You really learn how to work with people in here. You get a chance to kind of exercise the creative part of your brain and a chance to have some fun.
If you would like to be a part of MHS Rewind, sign up for RTV1 or RTV2.
And if you'd like to see some more of our work, check out our MHS Rewind channel on YouTube.
Now for a look at Artesian Athletics, let's send it over to Gunnar Andrew.
Thanks, ladies. The Mid-State Conference Wrestling meet was snowed out on Saturday, so the wrestlers made it up on Monday.
It was a long night for the Artesian wrestlers at Perry Meridian High School, but after nearly 5 hours of matches, the team came away with a 4th place finish.
It was very good last night. A lot of our guys in matches that they got pinned in earlier this year or just lost, they're closing that gap and they're changing the outcomes of those matches. So anytime that we can change an outcome of a previous competition, it's great.
2 Artesians won Mid-State Conference titles. Micah Dotson remained unbeaten on the season and took first at 220 pounds. Sophomore Will Nix won a Mid-State championship for the 2nd year in a row, this time at 182 pounds.
Well, I was thinking a lot about my team and thinking about, like, if I won, maybe my fans that like, followed me all through my wrestling career how they would react. And I won last year, and I won again, so that's all I was worried about.
Junior Jared Drake finished second at 138 pounds.
Well, it was the first time at the 138 class, so kind of just nervous about the whole situation, but had a good seed going into it, so I was pretty confident.
Hunter James finished third at 160 pounds.
Just I had to go out there and do what I needed to do. Win the match at all costs.
And Griffin Stein finished third at 195.
I felt pretty good. Obviously, I wasn't super happy because I did lose in the semifinals. However, you know, I just took what I could get after losing in the semifinals and getting third. So that was still exciting.
The Artesians will now get ready for sectionals next weekend at Mooresville.
The Martinsville swim team hosted Whiteland last Thursday, and as Presley Boyd tells us, they used the meet to prepare for sectionals.
The swimming team is working on improving turns and starts, along with breathing and flexibility with a lot of drill work. Head coach, Brianna Martin, says the teams are now on their challenge series and their couple-week plan.
It's kind of like breaking down their muscles, and then we'll taper about 2 weeks before the meet, so they'll get a whole lot of rest, and then they'll be able to swim fast come sectional time.
Assistant coach, Taylor Schubert, has a lot of goals for sectionals this year.
Everyone to drop time, obviously that would be really great. Improve mid-state times, and we have a couple kids who are really close to records. I would love it for them if they got to break them.
Both boys and girls 200 relay are close to breaking the school record. Austin Roy is also on his way to breaking the 100 breaststroke. The competition at sectionals is going to be tough, but the team is excited to take on the challenge.
Most of my competition comes from Franklin, and I know all of them. We're kind of friends, and so it's really just like friendly competition, just pushing yourself to get better.
We have hard competition, but I think it pushes us to train harder and get better.
You can catch the girls' sectionals on January 31st and the boys' sectionals on February 14th. For MHS Rewind, I'm Presley Boyd.
The girls' gymnastic team has tumbled into their new season. Carson Hacker takes a closer look.
A gymnastics meet is made up of 4 events: floor, beam, bars, and vault. The girls' gymnastics team started off their season at last Tuesday's meet, and as Coach Larry Sachs says, the girls did well in each of those events.
It was great. 91 points, which, you know, for us, that's good. And I've got 3 returning and 3 new girls in Phoenix in second all around, which is really good.
Phoenix Woodard is one of 2 freshmen on the team. She has been doing club gymnastics for 12 years.
I think the first meet went really well. Again, I think it's a bit different than club gymnastics. Like, they score us a little bit harder, so that scores are a bit lower, but you just kind of got to get used to the difference.
The team also has 3 sophomores and 1 senior, Riley Paris.
I think that we get along better because we're all like in the same age group. And then Riley, she's a bit older, but she like supports us and stuff.
Even though they only have 6 members, Coach Sachs says he prefers smaller numbers.
I think it's great because most meets you can have 5, maybe 6, and you go to an invitation and only have 4 girls. So with this team, 2 girls are going to be setting out, you know, so it's kind of a competition.
The girls are busy practicing 3 times a week in order to prepare for their next meet on Wednesday, January 23rd.
We do a lot of our routines over and over, especially floor and beam, because those are our hardest events, so we just try to do those over and over again and get them good and ready to go.
In order to prepare a normal practice, we come in and work on mainly floor and beam. Sometimes, if we're lucky, we'll get to go to another event. Other than that, you just work.
A team goal for the girls this season is to break the team record of 104.7, which was set in 1985. For MHS Rewind, I'm Carson Hacker.
It was senior night for the girls last Tuesday at the John R. Wooden Gym. Before the game, the team honored their 3 seniors, Abby Bauman, Gracie Johnson, and Bethany Mackin. Those 3 helped lead the Artesians to a 63-49 win over Terre Haute South. Patience Walker led 4 Artesians in double figures with 17, Mackin finished with 13, Ashland Traylor scored 11, and Johnson ended the night with 10. The girls are back in action Friday at home at 6 against Perry Meridian. The boys were snowed out Saturday, so they hosted Guerin Catholic for a rare Tuesday night makeup game at the John R. Wooden Gym. Tyler Stead got the Artesians off to a good start and finished the night with 15 points. And fellow senior Reed Staggs tossed in 13. But it wasn't enough as the Artesians fell to the Golden Eagles. The boys are back on the court Friday night when they host Perry Meridian. Don't forget, you can catch the boys and girls games live on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel. That's it for a look at sports. Back to you, ladies.
Thanks, Gunnar. Remember, if you're interested in being in Rewind, ask your counselor about signing up for RTV 1 or 2.
That wraps it up for this edition of MHS Rewind. For Gunnar Andrew, Presley Boyd, and the rest of the RTV2 class, I'm Brianna Waltz.
Thanks for watching and have a great day.